G'day guys, Big Al here, and I've got 5 tips right here that we're going to go through in this video to make the golf game, well, that little bit easier. Good bum that, isn't it? Good bum. So, tip number 1, this is a big one, visualization. I don't know if I'm the only person, but have you ever noticed a pattern where when you go and play a golf course that's wide open, not very tight, your tee shots tend to match that? And that's because we're not concentrating. You've of course heard the saying of aim small, miss small, and this is not a stupid saying by any stretch. Let's take the 9th at Lisbon for example. Dog legs left to right, not my shot shape by any stretch of the imagination. I could just look at this as a hole and go, right, left fairway, right fairway. I just want to get this within that sort of area, potentially with an iron. But I'm going to let you into a little secret as to what I do that makes it even more accurate. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but when you play a par 3, a long par 3, where you're hitting a similar sort of iron to this, you are pretty accurate to the green. Like your miss would have hit the fairway had that been a fairway. And that's because your target is probably the pin. Now imagine we've got a pin here that we want to try and hit. I think we'll put a pin there, would be the perfect target. Now this is a par 3 in my eyes. I want to get as close to that pin as possible. So our target from the tee has now gone from a width of this to a width of this. Now if we miss this, we're still going to be way inside our first original target. If we miss our first original target, we're in big trouble. So that saying of aim small, miss small really is true. Now par 3, let's see how close to that flag we can get. Saying we got a bit stuck, that's left side of the green, do you think? Yeah. Look at the difference though, that I could get angry at that because I've probably missed the green left there, but on a grand scheme of things with the tee shot, I am so within boundaries, it's ridiculous. Power of visualization. But it also works well with putting, chipping, pitching. A pitch like this one I've got here, fluffy sort of light, it's so easy just to see the flag, go for the flag. Where if we're targeting just for the flag, there's a good chance we're going to pitch it around the flag. We're in the thick rough, it's just going to roll out. We're not going to get that spin. So somewhere around here as a landing area will allow it to run out and hopefully get pretty close to give us a chance of getting up and down. A little bit like that. So putting, exactly the same thing. I always have in my mind and visualize that ball to hole line that you get on the Tiger Woods games in the past, where based on where you've aimed, this is where the putt's going to go. Now, for example, we've got the reed. This is left to right quite fast. If I was to aim at the hole, my line would be a see you later. So we know we've got to land short because it's downhill and we've got to be left-hand side. This is very basic in terms of reed. Oh, don't you love it when a plan comes together, hey? Brilliant. So the next time you stood on a tee, don't look at the fairway as like a all-you-can-eat buffet. Go tapas. Go small. Have a few small instead of one big, overwhelming dish. Pick small, eat small, aim small, miss small. Now before we get to some absolutely huge tips, one thing, if you're wondering what's going on for this pocket, I fell in a ditch just over there. I am a walking hazard. But dirty pocket aside, I'm being deadly serious, we've got some huge tips coming up. The second one, which we're going to get to now, is a bit more obvious, and that of course is working on your game. I've said this in the past, and you can't beat yourself up if you're not investing time working on the right things with your game. But the common thing pops up, a lot of us are very busy, we don't have time to get better. And if that's the case, of course, this is for you. Well, I think now is a very good time to talk about Swingtweaks, a free app available to download on Google Play and the App Store. Not only is Swingtweaks extremely affordable, it's also very convenient, to a point where my nan could do it and she doesn't know which way around the iPad goes, so you've got no excuse. Screen facing nan, yeah, that's it. No excuse. If you've ever dreamt of having your own personal PGA Professional, then Swingtweaks is definitely for you. Download the app, send a video of your swing, which can be done in the app, down the line and face on, with a little description of what the issue is and what you want to be fixed. Fully qualified PGA Professional will get back to you in just a few hours. with comprehensive video analysis and a full description breakdown of drills that you can use to get better. $24.99 US dollars, $19.99 Great British pounds. So to make this even better, you're not 100% sure on this, you can give it a go by using the code TMAL, where you get 20% off your first tweak. And honestly, well, you can thank me later, really. Right, I am doing a video, but these boys, well, what have you been doing?
We were playing on golf.
Any good?
Yeah, pretty good.
Good, right. So we've got some budding YouTubers, I thought we'd get them on. Shout out for your channel, what is it?
Zach Erman.
Okay, you've been on, whose channel were you on before?
Adam B.
Okay, so we've got experience here. We might have to grab you for a video at some point. Good lads, well keep going with your golf and I'll catch you next time. Yeah. Cheers boys,
See you.
Cheers. I thought it was perfect timing because ironically they've just come back from working on their game. But the fact of the matter is, the more you work on the game, I feel like the more you're allowed to get annoyed with yourself, aren't you? And I've said this before, if you're not putting the hours in, especially on your weaknesses, like the putting green, I really don't like practicing putting. I'm there with my headphones on, putting, and I've noticed big differences. Yes, I am prime culprit for my strengths driving. I'll go and hit a basket of drivers. I'm not learning anything, it's just an ego booster really, when I need to be thinning me wedges on the range, which no one really wants to see. So guys, yes, practice. Tip number 3. It's going to rain. That's not tip number 3. Having a flawless pre-shot routine, I feel, is huge on many levels for your golf game. To a beginner golfer or a non-golfer, it can look like we're having a seizure or a failed backup dancer from the Thriller video. Not again. Whether it's a head tilt, a waggle, a ground tap, a foot shuffle, a shoulder shuffle. For me, this is all now subconscious, and for a lot of golfers that have been in this situation for a long time, you will do this without thinking about it, and it will be literally almost mirror perfect. So a reliable pre-shot routine for many allows you to stay composed under high pressure moments.
You suck, you jackass. Why don't you shut the hell up?
This is your safe square that when you enter it, it doesn't matter what your thoughts are, throw them out, focus on the shot at hand, that is it. So a lot of entry-level golfers will think that the golf shot starts here, when you pull back the club and then you hit the shot. The physical golf shot, correct, but we can get so prepared before that even happens. So in theory, the golf shot starts with preparation much earlier than the physical golf shot. For example, I'm having a bit of fun with my mates.
Who was that?
We're having some stupid chat, probably on the first tee. Smells like broccoli. But as soon as I enter my pre-shot square, everything is zoned out. This is the point where I use tip 1, visualize the shot. And my pre-shot routine really is quite simple, really. One little practice swing, getting that feel. I'll look behind, I'll stand to the ball, and I will ignite. Many people do different things, but as soon as you enter this space, it doesn't matter whether you're playing in the Masters or you're having a knockabout with your mates. It doesn't matter, you're in your safe pre-shot routine space. And ask any tour pro, their pre-shot routine is absolutely vital. When they're in the zone, they could have 100,000 people watching them or 0. It really doesn't make any difference because they are in their square, they're in the zone. So, number 4, choosing the correct golf equipment. Being a golf reviewer, you best be listening to this one, because I'm very fortunate to review the majority of golf clubs on this channel, but they come in different shapes and sizes. Let's take irons for example. One day I could be reviewing a really thin, sexy muscle back. The other day, a not as attractive, more helpful, chunkier player's distance iron, beginner's entry golf club. There's a reason we have multiple different models within brands, because there are different requirements needed with equipment to match your golf game. It's like being in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory when it comes to golf equipment and new releases. It's so tempting. When you see a muscle back and cavity back, you want to jump in the chocolate river like Augustus Gloop.
Oh, look at Augustus.
Don't worry, he can't drink it all.
But by doing that, are you putting yourself at a huge disadvantage? Are you taking priority over looking good on the front cover of Vogue, instead of focusing on making the local newspaper because you've just won the club medal? Priorities. For example, in my bag right now, I'm testing 2 very different constructions and category of iron. We've got the muscle back, whew, shall we take it? And we've also got the more helpful player's distance iron. Hitting them both, they tell two very different stories. But the moral of the story is, help yourself with this game. As I've always said, it's a very tough game. Pick the right equipment, help yourself out. If you're not playing a lot, get some more assistance. Even if you're a low handicap and you're not playing a lot, one of the first things to go is strike. So have a bit of assistance, a bit of perimeter weighting, a bit of help with MOI, lower CG, and those scores could get much better. So yes, no Vogue front cover because you'll look good standing with it. Imagine what your face would be like when you've thinned it on a freezing cold morning. Now, tip number 5, the reality of golf. No matter how much you're prepared, no matter how much you practice, the bad days are inevitable. So we can go to the first tee, not knowing what we're going to get on the day. And it's like one of those flipping toy vending machines. Okay, it's a slice. Yes, tip number 5 is one that, again, I've been a victim of a few times. I'm the victim, obviously. Right then, what have we got today in the old golf shot shuffle? Chunk toe, interesting. High slice, interesting. Top, very interesting. Yeah, this is a big one because natural instincts kick in and you've kind of got to stop that from happening. Okay, then a generalization. If something's not going right in life, it's only natural to want to fix it. But golf, I think, is one of those things where we've just got to, you know, work with what we've got on the day. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing more annoying than working your absolute backside off to get rid of this slice. Stand on the first tee, maybe nerves get the better of you, and we've got a slice for the day. Now, we don't want to start trying to release the club. We do not want to start changing the swing path because straight away we're going to have a two-way miss, which is, well, in case you didn't know, a disaster. Let's say I'm getting stuck in toe hooking. The last thing I want to do is try and square that club face off because my swing path is obviously a lot from the inside. If I square that club face off, we're no longer missing left, just left. We've also got that right miss as well. So the best thing you could possibly do is accept your vending machine toy that you've got for the day. But yes, accept your losses, play with the shot shape that you've been given on the day, even though that's against everything you've been practicing for the weeks prior. Your golf game will thank you if you've got the slices. Allow for it. Don't try and start changing things mid-round because, well, I'm telling you now, it's not going to end well. So guys, those are my 5 tips to make golf easier. Not easy, easier. Keep going, use these tips to your benefits, make that game a little bit easier, and I'll see you next time.